everyone, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'll show you how I made this adorable little card using some of the new products from Simon Hurley's collection. So let's go ahead and get into the video. Okay, so here I've got two stencils and I have the Easter Bunnies collection. So we're going to start out with the stencils, and we're going to start out with, we're going to be using In Bloom, and we're going to be using the polka dot assortment here. So I'm going to be making several layers, and I'll be using actually a sketch from Kendra's Card Challenge to complete this card. So what I've got here is I've got my little sticky mat. Let me just adjust my camera for you here. And I'm going to grab a piece of smooth white cardstock. This is Hammer Mill. And I'm going to grab the largest stencil from the In Bloom collection. And make sure to put the shiny side down on a sticky mat so we don't pull up the little finish off of Simon's stencils. And I'm going to be starting with Breakup Blue. And I'm just going to fill in the little flowers. Not a big deal, right? Easy, easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Only these aren't lemons, they're blue flowers. Okay, so enough with the dad jokes. I'm just going to fill these in pretty deep. And I'll be using Breakup Blue for the whole set of stencils here. And you're going to see how. So I've got my first layer down. Now I'm going to take the smaller one, and again, make sure that it's going the right direction and that the shiny side is down. I'm going to lay it on top, and I'm going to do a heavier application of the Breakup Blue. So we've got basically layer upon layer of the same color. And just fill that whole stencil in. This release has so much potential. I love this one, and I absolutely love the polka dot assortment because there's so many combinations of things you can do with it. So I'm just going to make sure this is filled in here nice and dark. And so you see now we've got a two-tone Breakup Blue effect. Now I'm going to take the last stencil, and for the last stencil I'm going to use the brand new Breakup Blue Lunar paste to give us some extra shine. I'm just going to make sure that stencil's down there good and tight, and then go ahead and just start spreading on my Lunar paste. This is a lovely, lovely color. I just love it. Well, I don't know of a color I don't love, but you know. I especially love the combination, the Breakup Blue and the Love Struck that he came out with here for this release. Try and move junk out of my way so I have free movement of my hands here. And then I like to tap my jar down before I put the lid on, just to get everything back down and not up by the lid. And there we go. And we're going to set that aside and let it dry, and we're going to do our cleanup here. Alright, so I've got everything all nice and clean. Now I've got my second piece of paper, and I'm going to do some stenciling here too. So I'm going to take the large polka dots, and again with the Breakup Blue, I'm just going to coat the whole thing in blue polka dots. And then once I've got that done, then we'll introduce a new color. So there are totally a basic 3 colors on this card, keeping it pretty simple. So using Breakup Blue, Overzealous, and Love Struck. I love blue and green together, especially this blue and that green. So I'll pull this stencil off, and then I'm going to grab the small stencil, and I'm going to lay my dots, making sure I've got shiny side down. I'm going to lay my dots in between, and we'll fill in those dots with some Overzealous. Let me just adjust this stencil here a little bit. Make sure everything's all nice and even. And clean off my green brush to make sure I don't have any dark green in there. And then go ahead and lay down my color. You can pretend there's music going if I'm quiet. I don't know. I don't mind music in videos, not at all. but I can't seem to find any that kind of suits me. So that's why you have to listen to me yak the whole time. All right, so that background's done. Super easy. And yeah, that's wet because I cleaned off I washed my sticky mat with soap and water, and that's the low-tack mat from Altenew. Now I'm going to trim this piece down to 4 by 5 1/4. And it's ready to go. That's going to be my very background. And I'm going to glue that down to a A2 card base. It's going to have just a tiny border around it, but first I'm going to unclog my glue so I actually get glue out of here. All right, there we go. Get that nice and even. And then I've got my little panel that I did, and I'm going to cut this panel down. So I'm going to cut that down to, I want to say it's 2 1/2. It might be 2 3/4, but let's first make sure it's completely dry. And you can see some little spots there that I missed on the flowers, and it doesn't matter because I won't be using that part. But I don't want to put this in my trimmer while it's wet. So those can't be used here, but I'll save them for another time. And I've got that apparently cut down, and I actually took off with it. So now I'm going to cut down a square here. And I'm going to cut down a 3-inch square. And that's where my focal point is going to be. And this is why I like these sketches, is because even if you have a smaller stamp, you can still have a big impact because you've got just a plain focal point. So I'm going to mask off just a little section of this. I'm going to try and make sure I get it even, so I'm lining it up with my grid here. And I just need a tiny little section, maybe about 1/4 of an inch, 5/8 of an inch, something like that. And I'm going to take what's left on my green brush. If I can find my green brush. Where'd you go? Where'd you go, green? I bet you never have this problem. Because, yeah, you can't see most of the things that are outside of my screen. There it is. And I'm just going to use what green's on there and lay down just like a little patch of grass, basically. And then I'll just cover that with my tape and make myself some little sky with the breakup blue, what's left on my brush. So it's very, very light and subtle, because this is the part that I need to stand out. I might just add a wee bit more around the edges there. So I started off the edge and then brought it in. So I don't want any heavy marks. I do want to kind of vignette this a bit. There we go. And that's done. So there are several parts to this card, which is fine. This is how we like it. And then I need to do, of course, my bunny. And I'm going to stamp my bunny out. And I'm going to stamp it in, I want to say I stamped in Memento, Tuxedo Black, I think. Yeah. Here's me looking for my ink. Okay, let's grab, I want to grab, I'm grabbing Hammermill again, I think. And, yep, I'm actually doing this voiceover multiple days after I did the video, so sometimes I can't remember what I did. But I'm going to grab that get that cute little bunny that's grabbing for a butterfly, because just adorable. And to me, it's a girl bunny because she has a flower in her hair. But, you know, I mean, I know plenty of boys who like flowers too, so we'll just say they. It's a they bunny. Yep, I did use my Memento because I'm going to use alcohol markers just to color this bunny in a little bit, not a bunch. Let's go ahead and get a second stamping of that. Okay. Happy with that. Maybe one more just to make sure I've got nice coverage. And this set, there is a coordinating die set available, and I will be using that to cut out this little bunny. Although she would be easy enough to cut out with scissors. So there's that. Let's go ahead and I'm just gonna, there we go. Lay a little piece of paper on there so I don't get that memento ink all over my brand new waffle flower mat. And then I'm going to grab a very light gray color to color my bunny. So this is, I can't even see it. It is an Ahoo marker. And I'm going to just do kind of where the shadows are. And I'm just kind of pouncing the color in. And I'm, again, not doing a bunch because I want my bunny to be actually white. So just doing where I think shadows would be. You know, with the bottommost portion, because the light would be coming from the top because they're out in the daylight and it must be sunny because there's a blue sky. But I do want to add a little dimension to that nose, a little dimension in the ears. Just towards the bottoms of the ears. A little bit of shadow around that flower so it stands out a bit. The top of her head, a little under her chin. And just a little bit around the body. And then I'll take my colorless blender and just blend so that basically the gray color gets more washed out and mixed in with the white. Just to give our bunny a little bit of depth. And I just keep going back and forth with it until I feel like it's blended out. Not a big rhyme or reason, at least as far as I'm concerned. Let's get those legs blended out. Set is so cute. It's got several bunnies doing with all kinds of different activities. Okay, just get those ears blended out. And blend out a little bit better there around the nose. I got a little freckle on the nose. Oh, no, I don't. That's a little shadow on the nose. Okay. I see it now. Okay, I'm happy with the blending on the bunny. Now, I want, of course, some color here. And I want color to the butterfly and to the flower and to the little nose and cheeks. So let's grab a really super light pink. And I think this color is called Water Lily, RV010. It's super duper light. And it's the lightest pink I think I have. And I'm just going to dot some in the cheeks and dot some in around the nose and in the centers of the ear. Okay, done with that. Super easy. And then I'm just going to take my little colorless blender and just sort of blend it out so around the nose so it doesn't look, you know, too, I don't know, spotty, I guess. And next, I'm going to be using some of the Love Struck here. And I'm going to grab my Tombow water brush here. And I'm just going to go in directly to the Love Struck and just fill in the little flower with the color. I'm just kind of dotting that in as well. I'm not looking for massive dimension or anything. And then we'll dot in heavy on the butterfly and then pull the color out. So this is another way you can use your inks as markers. Let's go ahead and grab and make a little bit deeper on the back wing because that would be shaded. Just a little bit of added dimension, not a huge deal. Get a little bit darker around the front. And there we go. Our stuff's all colored. Now we can go ahead and cut it out. All right, there it is all cut out. Now we're going to start to build our scene. So I've got this piece here, and I'm going to be trimming that down into a strip. Okay, so I'm going to just trim that with my trimmer. And good question, why am I getting this out? Oh yeah, I forgot I wanted to splatter that first. So I'm going to take my little brush and I'm going to get it wet and make sure that it's clean and doesn't have some other color on it, because sometimes I forget to wash them out. I admit it. I just set them aside and then I put them away and forgot that I didn't clean them. So I'm going to just rub a little bit of this Love Struck right down here onto my work mat. Add a little bit of water. And just get my brush in that water and lightly tap so that I'm tapping down some of this Love Struck color. That gives me 3 items with Love Struck, making everything all nice and balanced in my mind. Doesn't mean it is balanced, but my mind thinks it's balanced, so that's what counts. And I know you can barely see this on camera, but it's there, and you'll be able to see it when I show you the close-up view. All right, let's go ahead and start the assembly of this card here. Let me grab my, what am I looking for here? Don't know. Oh yeah, I'm gonna find my sentiment. And I think I'm gonna use Happy Spring. And I'm gonna go ahead and stamp that out here. Let me move Bunny out of the way. And let me see. Let's grab a piece of paper here. Let's see if my scrap is big enough. There we go, there's a scrap. And I'm going to stamp the Happy Spring again in the Breakup Blue. And I'll do several stampings of it to get a nice solid stamping, because I don't like to press down hard. So I'll just press lightly multiple times. But I don't really want to add any black to my cards, so I thought this blue would be perfect. The main colors on this card is blue. Okay, maybe one more. Nope, we're good with that. And now I'm going to take my Versamark or my Wow embossing, one of my embossing pads, okay. One of my several that's within reach. And I'm going to stamp down on top of that Happy Spring couple of times with the embossing ink, and then I'll put some clear embossing powder over it, and then we'll have a custom heat embossed sentiment. And I just keep mine in this sort of little, it's like a jewelry drawer, so it's easy to use because it's my most used. All right, let's go ahead and get the heat tool and get this heated up and embossed. Okay, here I've got all my parts ready. I've got my centerpiece trimmed out. I just need to trim off my Happy Spring. And I cut an extra piece off of that piece with the Lunar paste to put on the inside of my card. And I'm just going to cut this Happy Spring into a strip here with my little small trimmer. Just make sure it's all nice and even here. Come on out. There you go. And I'm going to cut the front edge straight, and then I'll cut a little, I'll trim a little bit of this one off and then cut a little fishtail into it. And we've got all our parts and we're ready to assemble. I'm just going to cut down the center, and let me tell you, I'm horrible at these things. And I have a little tool that does it, but the little tool is kind of funny, so I just mostly will do it by hand if it's something this small. And I'll live with that. All right, here we go. So I'm going to put this piece here down the center, and that's about 2 1/4 inches. And I'm just going to glue that straight down. Okay, just get that nice and stuck down there. And then our next piece is going to basically go in right smack in the middle. But I've got this little piece that I cut a little flag out of, and I'm going to put this just a tiny bit, about an inch worth of this flag on, because I am following a sketch, again, from Kendra's Card Challenge. And I forget which one it is, but I will list it in the description box down below. I don't have it right in front of me as I'm doing this voiceover. And this is just a piece of fun foam I'm going to use to pop up this part of the card, because the little bunny is star of the show. I'm going to pop that up right there. And notice I'm putting some glue down the center, but I'm going to add a couple of strips of paper across the top and bottom, just to kind of make sure everything's all nice and even. So you'll see what I mean here in a second. And don't worry, I'm going to trim off that excess. But what that's going to do is it's going to bring it more level, the top and bottom more level with the center piece, so that it's all popped up evenly. And we don't have a rocky card. Let's make sure this is down far enough. There we go. And then I'll just add some glue to those strips of paper. And we'll be able to lay this on here, and it'll all lay down flush. I don't want to say flat because obviously it's popped up. There we go. Just making sure that's good and stuck down. Put our little bunny down. I'll do my sentiment right about there. And bunny's ears can hang off the edge of that as much as I need it to. I'm going to do, I'm going to do these little foam squares, I think, on my, just one edge of that happy spring, so that it, because it's obviously popped up. And I'll add a little bit of wet glue, a little bit of glue to the other edge, and this way the part that hangs off doesn't get smashed. Here we go. We'll get Easter Bunny on there. Trying to catch a little pink butterfly. Yeah, I'm just checking my placement there on my sentiment. Yep, happy with that. We'll go ahead and, let's see, it looks like yep, I'm going to put some little foam squares on the back of Bunny too. And these are just some low profile 1mm ones. And I can never have too many foam squares, I guess. That's probably why I keep buying them. You could stack paper and do the same thing, but we would be here all day. So I'll just go ahead and peel the backers off. And then we'll be basically done with our card. So this is, again, the new January 2024 collection from Simon, Hurley, and Ranger. I'd like to thank them again for sending me these products to play with. I appreciate that. And so you know, I've got a Ranger link down below in the description box. So if you're looking to get any part of this collection or any other goodies from Ranger or Simon Hurley, I'd be thankful if you'd click that link, and to help me support my channel, since I do keep my videos ad-free. And I also have a membership option, which is very, very helpful. It's $1 a month. Anyway, there's my card. Let's go ahead and decorate the inside a little bit, just because we have this extra piece of beautiful paper that we worked on. I don't like to waste any. So we'll do just a little bit, and I'm going to leave that open at the top so that it can be a little pocket if you need it to be, where you could put in a gift card or tuck in some other goodies if you wanted to. Well, okay, there we go. There's our card. Happy spring. I'm looking forward to it. Let me see it, if I can get this up closer for you. Well, don't forget to leave me a thumbs up anyway. Take care. Bye-bye.